I know you feeling this.
What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy 5.0 Primo, and today I'm actually about to get onto the install of the killer chiller system on my 2019 Roush supercharged Mustang. So I'm gonna just go detail step by step as good as I can on how to install a killer chiller system onto the vehicle. So first I'm gonna go ahead and start off with removing the refrigerant out the vehicle, along with removing the bumper while the refrigerant is being recovered. So I'm going to get into that. Alright, so while this crappy machine is recovering, I forgot I had YF. If y'all don't know what that is, pretty much it's a switch of refrigerant from R134 to R1234YF, which is crap. I don't know why they did it. It's stupid though, but pretty much the machine just takes longer than the 134. That's really the only fucking change with the refrigerant. Excuse my language, of course. But yeah, so got that recovering. Gonna start taking off the bumper. Just pop off these clips here, and it's going to expose the screws that need to come off. So you're gonna go and take all these screws off. You're gonna go and take all these screws off, and then you're gonna have two bolts under by the fender. They're 10mm bolts. You're gonna go and take those off. Take the clips off on the side, and then take the bolts off from the underbelly. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. All right, so now I got the front bumper off. I'm gonna go ahead and clamp down the hose to the heat exchanger so I can remove the heat exchanger and mount the killer chiller. I don't know where I want to mount it yet. There's no room on this side because I have the second coolant tank right there for the supercharger, and then the pumps down there. So I actually might mount it there. It just, man, there's like no room. See, I can mount it here. The only thing is I would need to hope I have enough hose. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and clamp down the hose to disconnect one of the coolant hose to the heat exchanger, and so I can break it loose. Let's see. Okay, it's gonna be a pain in the ass. Give me a second. Alright, so now that I got it loose, I'm just gonna go ahead and drop that down and just lay that there. So I got that one off. Now I'm going to take the bottom one off right here so I can remove the heat exchanger. Go ahead and just let that drain a little bit. Alright, so as you can see, I got the heat exchanger out, the hoses. So I'm going to tap into this line. This is your high side line, and it goes from your condenser to the line like here. So I'm gonna tap a T shape so that way it can go to the condenser, to the back valve or expansion valve, and then to the chiller. So once I tap into that small line, that's pretty much what that would do. Tap into that small line and then put the T shape so that way I can put it into the condenser, and it'll be put into the AC line, and then the other end will go to the killer chiller. I'm gonna mount this guy like so, and then the killer chiller would sit on this. Then the brace will be against the vehicle, and so the killer chiller will be tucked on the inside of the brace. I gotta wait till tomorrow, get some better bits. Honestly, with these 2 hours, I spent most of my time trying to figure out the system as far as all the fittings, all yeah, pretty much just all the fittings. They really don't make much sense on how they would, you know, mount. Like, okay, like, so this line right here, so it says to mount from the ace or the low, the high side line, from the line where it goes from the expansion valve to the condenser, which, okay, I get that, but then the only piece that is a hose for the high side line is that little bitty rubber piece right there. So how the hell am I gonna tap into a 2-inch hose? I'm supposed to be able to tap into that 2-inch hose and somehow put a T-shape, just like stated here, put a T-shape fitting into that little bitty hose to where then I can tap into the killer chiller and the condenser, and of course the other end of the line. Shit doesn't make sense. It honestly doesn't make sense, because okay, so this is what I was looking at. So okay, so this is how the line, or this is how the fittings are set up. So this nipple is probably down to like maybe right here. How the hell am I gonna squeeze this long ass thing into that 2-inch hose so this guy can screw into my small T shape? I don't know. I don't know. I'm done for today though. I will fucking figure this shit out tomorrow, and we'll see how far we can get tomorrow. Alright guys, so quick little update. I have the killer chiller mounted up upside down on the front brace, and I mean it's pretty solid on there. It's not going anywhere. And then you could put your bracket on your killer chiller to hold it in place. So that's pretty much how I got it. So next thing would be this one's gonna tap into the coolant line. This one's gonna tap into another coolant line, and then this guy's gonna tap into my high side line, and then this guy is gonna tap into my low side line. So I'm gonna have to run a hose for my low side and then from another hose from my high side to here, and then pretty much that's it. Then once it'll be set, so I'm kind of at a sit still as far as with the high side line. So I only have 2 inches of hose on this line that's back here. And so if you have a 2019 Mustang and you only have 2 inches of hose, you see that hose? And you only have 2 inches, you really can't tap into that. So I had to hit up Joe at Kincaid, and he pretty much is going to send me some certain fittings, aluminum fittings, that to where I'm gonna have to weld into the high side line in order to tap into it, to tap my T, so I can run the line to the killer chiller. But other than that, so while I'm waiting on that fitting, those 2 fittings to get here, I can at least do my low side. So pretty much took the 13 off of the low side line, and of course it's been recovered. So I pretty much got my low side line exposed here, and man, that hose is like crazy thick. But so now I gotta tap into this line in order to install my drag valve. So, and there's the T that's gonna tap, but so that T is gonna tap into there, but as well it's gonna tap here and here, so I can have my T shape. So this one's gonna go to the killer chiller, this one's gonna go to one end of the line, and then this one's gonna go to the other end of the line. So let me go ahead and start doing that. Alright everybody, so I pretty much cut the low side line here, and so this guy I want to tap into. I wanted to make an elbow because the low side line goes like this. So since it goes like this, I wanted to keep it the same direction. You know, I don't want to mess any, you know, refrigerant flow of how, you know, Ford has it set up. So I went ahead and put a elbow on this end. So I'm gonna have a elbow on this end and then a straight on the right side, and then I will have my T down with the hose like so. So I'll put my T at the bottom in this area. I'll put my T here. I'm gonna go ahead and tap this one into here, into this one, and then this end will tap into this side. So I'm gonna have to cut some of this hose, but I wanted to do this side first just to see how much I can get away with not cutting. And then so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this guy down. I'm gonna go ahead and install this guy and tighten this guy down, and then I'm gonna leave this one off so I can measure how much I need to cut, and then I'll tap that guy in and tighten everything down on that side. So I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that. Alright guys, so here's the update. So as you can see, I have the AC tapped in. I used some clamps because this line is crazy thick, too thick to even get those clamps to tighten down. So I'm gonna have to do that on this side with this hose. So once I put this hose in with here, I'm gonna have to do the same thing, but then this is the supply line they give. I actually was able to put those clamps on there, so that fit really well. So on that T shape at the bottom, here's your T. The T, the other end of the T goes down, goes through here, comes out into the killer chiller, and this end will go to the compressor. This end obviously goes into the line to the expansion valve, and of course this is your drag valve. So I'm just gonna have that there, and then here's the wires, so that way I can run my switch. Alright guys, so I got the out done, or I'm sorry, the in done, That one goes to the pump again, and the out is done. That one comes back from the blower, returns back from the blower into there. So I got that set up, and I kind of wrapped it under, back over, through, just so it doesn't hang a little bit. I know I'll have the belly pan underneath to keep everything protected. So, but yeah, there's the setup. So now would be next, we're gonna go ahead and do the drag switch, wiring up the drag valve. So I gotta wire up the switch for it. 3-wire switch. Got your ground, your signal, and your power. So I'll be wiring up the switch to it. I really wanted just like a flat switch, but they didn't have a flat switch, so the next best thing was, where is this guy at? Well, looks like I lost the switch. So I'll be wiring up this stop switch. But so we'll go ahead and do that when we come back to finish. Other than that, next thing after that would just be pull the high side line on, get it welded up, put the high side line back in, tap it into the valve, and then we can crank it up, take a look at it, see how it's running. Alright, so till the next update. Alright everyone, so today we're going to mount the switch up to the drag valve on the killer chiller. So it's a 3-wire valve. We have a black, green, and red wire. So you have a green signal, black is ground, red is power. So you're gonna run this one to the accessory end on the switch. You're gonna run this one to the power side of the switch. This one you're gonna run to a chassis ground, or I mean the battery's right there. You can run to a battery ground. I'll probably put it right here on this chassis ground. And then once you run these, once you run the signal to the switch, and you run the red to the positive or 12 volt, you're gonna run another wire from the positive 12 volt, and you're gonna tap it into a fuse for anything with 12 volts with ignition on. So that's pretty much what I'm gonna do here. So you have your battery voltage, signal, and ground, and then you're gonna run your ground to anywhere ground on the body on the inside, wherever I'm gonna put the switch at. So I'm gonna go ahead and start doing all that. Here's my next update, where I was wiring the switch. So I got the switch wired. Right now I just got a wire ran to a fuse, just so I could test out the valve before actually running it back through the back of the casing. But so here's the switch. This is where I'm gonna have the switch, and then that's for the drag valve. Go ahead and turn it on accessory position, Rudy, and just testing the drag valve. All right, go ahead and close the drag valve. All right, open up the drag valve. So the drag valve is operating normally. All right, go ahead and turn it off. Okay, so I got the drag valve set up now. I got the bolt coolant hose set up. I got the low side set up. Now all I need to do is wait for my fittings for the high side, get the high side line out, get it welded, put it back in, and then I can put refrigerant and coolant in, and it's good to go. So that's probably what I'll do Monday, pull the high side out. My fittings should be here today or tomorrow, which is today's Friday, so they should be here today. If not, they should be here tomorrow, he said. and then from there I will get the line out Monday, get somebody welded up real quick, and then put it back in, and then put some refrigerant in it and put some coolant, and it should be good to go. All right, till next update. So we finally got the high side line out, and I mean, dude, with all those bends and the line tucked all the way at the bottom to the condenser in this area, dude, that sucked. That really sucked. I said a few cuss words while pulling that line out. Let me just say that was not fun at all. How I'm gonna get the line back in with all those bends, I don't know. I'm just glad I got the damn thing out, so that way when these fittings show up, I can just take it to wherever the hell I need to take it and get it welded to get it back in to get this car going, because it's been down for too long. I've been waiting on too many things for this killer chiller system to get going. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little frustrated with how the setup's been going. I mean, if I'd have had everything, it'd have been okay, because I could have got it out within 2 to 3 days. But being that I was waiting on the killer chiller itself, the drag valve, now the fittings, I mean, the car's been down for a week since I've even started installing. I probably, well, you can't predict that, but I wish I would have known, so that way I could just waited for the fittings to show up to even do any of it. But whatever, we're ready to start tearing down, so it's been down for a week now. I'm ready to get this damn line, or this damn fitting, welded into this line and get it back in and get it running. Let's hope this was worth it. I'm really hoping that this setup is what I was looking for to help the supercharger out, and I'll let y'all know, guys. I definitely will let y'all know on that. So let's get these fittings in, get it welded on the line, and then put it in to the next update. Alright guys, so this is the last update of what I needed to get done as far as modifications to get this install done. So I actually got the line finished, just got it back. I'm gonna go ahead and install it, and then I'm going to charge up the system, add coolant, bleed the coolant system, let it idle, and we'll see if everything's working fine. Let's go and take a look at the line. So here's where they welded this adapter in, so I can splice into T-shape. Here's the other end of it, so all that's good. So I'm gonna go ahead and install the line, and so when you're removing it and installing it, this little gap here is where you want to slide it through. So that's how it can be a little bit of a pain in the ass. So you want to guide it through from the bottom and slide it out through here. Now it might be a little bit easier installing because I have one less bend to deal with, because on the T adapter I can remove it and just slide it through from the bottom end. So I'm gonna go ahead and install it now. Okay, so so the machine was doing the charge, but before it does the charge, it does a vacuum leak test and checks for a leak. And if you have a leak, it won't let you proceed to the charge. So it did detect the leak. Says it was coming from the high side line, of course. So I noticed that this nipple on this fitting was not sitting into the teeth correctly. So I went ahead and removed all this again, so I can get in here and get that sat in correctly. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this off for right now. I got it charging again. Let's hope that I got it charging again. Let's hope that there's no leak. But so I'm not gonna even fill up the coolant yet. Let me get the AC situated to where there's no leak, and we'll go from there as far as, you know, topping off the coolant and bleeding the system. I just want to get the AC situated first. I need it to pass the leak test. Go back and charge it up, and then, you know, I'll once it passes the leak test, then I'll go ahead and connect everything else up as far as for the cooling system. But so this is pretty much what the high side line looks like. Like I said, I had to get it welded here. Before there was a flex hose. As you can see how this sits in here, it's a tight squeeze, but it gets through. Like I said, I might as well put some felt on it now, just so that way, well, whenever I'm gonna put everything back in, I'm gonna go ahead and put some like foam felt or something in between, just so that way, you know, if they're making contact, it's cool. It's as long as it's not rubbing through the plastic. So I'll put some foam pieces right here, just in between both of them. Let's just hope this thing passes this leak test, guys. Really want to just get this car running today. So got about 2 more minutes, and it'll tell me if it's passing the leak test. We'll see. All right, I'll update y'all in a few. All right, so I got the high side line leak situated. Then I found out I had a low side line leak. So let me show you where that leak was coming. It was actually coming from this little area here. I pretty much just removed the line, made sure that I had it installed correctly, and I went ahead and put some Teflon tape on the threading, and that seemed to have fixed the leak to where it passed the leak test. So we're good there. So now, I mean, I ended up starting it up. At the moment it's running. I'm letting all the air come out the coolant system. Topped off the coolant right now. It's might have to add a little bit more, but so we're gonna go ahead and start just letting it idle up. This is feeling pretty cool. Pretty cool to the touch, actually. Where's the coolant line? There's my coolant lines. It's actually feeling really cold. These lines are feeling really cold. I mean, let me show you the temp on what these lines are feeling. 66 degrees. And that's coming out the supercharger. That's coming from the back of the intercooler area. So it comes from the back of the intercooler area, comes into this area of the killer chiller, and then this one's going from the pump. So it pumps it through here, sends it to the supercharger, comes out the end of the supercharger through here, and comes back into the killer chiller, and it just cycles all the way through. So let's see what these lines are reading. I mean, that's 48, that's 50. That's what's returning back from the supercharger right there. 56 degrees returning back from the supercharger idling. This is sending it through. This is sending it through at 60, about 60, 65 degrees, 55. Not bad. Not bad. This thing is cold. This thing is ice cold. Ice cold. Go ahead and read what the at idle set. At idle, it's sitting here at 62 degrees. My low side is showing at 35. High side about below, a little bit below 100, which is normal because of the temperature outside. And 35 degrees. Not bad. All right, let's go and see what the in-cabin temp is. Getting inside, yeah, it's pretty cold in here. 30, 33. 32, and that's, I mean, I can have it on 2 right now, and it's doing pretty good. So let me see if it shows me. Cylinder heads 172, 61. In airlift. That's pretty much ambient. But I bet you the IAT2s are gonna be really good with this killer chiller. Yeah, these things are cold. Bad. I'm trying to see some sweat though. Alright, I'm just gonna check some more temps. Returning from the supercharger. That is returning from the supercharger. Look at that. 73. It's been idling for about things are cold. It's been idling for now about 10 minutes. I'm just making sure everything's bled out as far as the coolant system goes. And it's, like I said, it's been idling here, so good 50 degrees. Let's see what the coolant is coming back. 65 degrees. This is idling, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and this is what's in the holding tank. Yeah, that thing's cold. Coolant lines don't look like they're leaking. Still showing a good reading on that low side. Low side's feeling pretty cold. Good deal on that. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the lines. looks like everything's running good. Everything's working. So I'm gonna go ahead and put everything back together. Oh yeah. Oh, this is good. Oh yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. High sign lines. A little warm. Good deal. Good deal. It's how it should be. No coolant leak from there. Good. Yeah, everything seems like it's running like it should. Idle, about 73, 65. There it goes, there's a good temp. Sweet. 56, right now it's about 60 something degrees outside. Like I said, this is idle. So I'm gonna go do a drive once I get everything on, and we're gonna see what it is after me cruising.